A year ago, he was Donald Trump's criminal defense attorney. Todd Blanche defended Trump in the Stormy Daniels hush money trial. Trump was convicted on all 34 counts. Here's what Donald Trump had to say about the convicted sex trafficker.
I wish her well. Whatever it is, I just wish her well, Frank.
Today, he's an assistant attorney general of the United States. What's he doing? Flying to Florida to talk with sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted in the Epstein criminal case. Maxwell knows everything. She'd love a pardon.
She answered all the questions truthfully, honestly, and to the best of her ability.
Yeah, Donald Trump thinks we're that stupid. Release the Epstein files. Now.
What kind of ad could make Trump so furious he started yelling at his own advisors? The Lincoln Project just dropped a series of parody spots, with Honest Abe himself calling out lies, debts, and courtroom drama that had Donnie Diapers seeing red. We're talking historical burns with 4K receipts. If you think late-night shows hit hard, wait until you see Lincoln calmly roast every single broken promise. You've seen political ads, but not ones that make a former president post a rant about being more respected than Lincoln. We're about to play you the ones Trump can't stop watching. Before we move on, I will like you to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Picture this: Abraham Lincoln in a black suit, stovepipe hat, sitting in a comfy armchair. There's a little china teacup in his hand, steam floating up while he casually flips through a stack of papers. But instead of presidential speeches or Civil War maps, he's reading off Trump's old campaign promises one by one, pausing to sip while each one blows up on screen with a big red broken. It looks like it should be some PBS special about history, but within seconds, you realize it's a setup.
Oops, Donald. You thought you sent J.D. Vance to talk to Rupert Murdoch about stopping the Epstein story. Well, that didn't work. You should have sent Don Jr. or someone else that you could trust. Because you know J.D. Vance will tell anybody whatever it takes to get what he wants. Maybe J.D. Vance and Rupert figured out the succession. Who comes after you? They don't want to wait. Maybe they talked about when to start the 25th Amendment process to take you out. There's something you should worry about, Donald. Something you should think about. What if J.D. Vance cuts a deal with Rupert? And Rupert, he won't just listen to J.D. He'll take action. And if J.D. and Rupert get their way, you'll lose, Donald. You'll lose everything.
This isn't history class. It's a roast in disguise. The Lincoln Project turned Honest Abe into the driest talk show host you've ever seen. They stick him behind a desk with a backdrop that looks like an old painting, and then, without raising his voice, he starts peeling away Trump's record like wallpaper in a damp apartment. Underneath, everything's cracked and rotting. They frame it like Abe's just calmly walking viewers through the mess. No screaming, no dramatic music, just a president from 160 years ago rolling his eyes from beyond the grave. And here's the weird thing: millions watched. The videos didn't just get attention from the usual progressive crowd. By their own numbers, about 30% of the views came from conservatives. Imagine that, Trump being roasted by a dead president in high def, while part of his own base is sitting there chuckling along. It's like watching a political ghost do stand-up, except every punchline is backed up with receipts. Take 4 years and a lie ago. It doesn't just call Trump out. It literally shows clips of him promising to pay down the debt, then cuts to giant headlines about national deficits exploding. He says, "We will hire the best people." And immediately, you see photos of advisors facing indictments.
He said it over and over for years.
Can you guarantee that Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security will not be touched?
Yeah, I mean, I have said it so many times, you shouldn't be asking me that question.
It is wrong to cut health care for the working poor.
There's a lot of MAGAs on Medicaid. I'm telling you, if you don't think so, you are dead wrong.
The effect of this bill is to break a promise.
Medicare, Medicaid, none of that stuff is going to be touched.
Nothing.
We're going to love and cherish Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. We're not going to do anything with that.
His biggest MAGA supporters said no cuts to Medicaid. He thinks you're stupid and he can fool you. He doesn't care about your health insurance. All he wanted was your vote. Donald Trump. It's just not working.
He boasts about winning so much you'll get tired of winning. Smash cut to polling numbers in the toilet. It's side-by-side humiliation. That's why it works. It's like watching a magician in the middle of his act drop the trick in front of the crowd, revealing all the wires and mirrors. You can't unsee it. Once you know the trick, the magic is gone. For Trump, whose whole image is built on being the unbeatable showman, that's deadly. Psychologists have said humor wrapped around hard facts sticks in people's brains way more than just a plain lecture. If you make someone laugh while proving a point, the image lodges in their head. They don't just remember the joke, they remember the truth under it, which is bad news if you're the butt of the joke. And we haven't even hit the one ad that made Trump threaten to sue. His advisors, according to reports, couldn't believe how lethal the formula was. Tiny scrolling fact checks at the bottom of the screen, Lincoln's flat delivery, and visuals that instantly stripped away the swagger. It wasn't shouting accusations. It was a calm knife to the image. The aftermath was pure grumpy Trumpy. Word is, he barged into a meeting in a full rage, waving his arms and insisting he deserved more respect than Lincoln. Yes, that is exactly the sentence you think it is. Advisors sat there while the orange turd compared himself to the guy who literally freed the slaves. All because the ghost of Honest Abe made fun of him on YouTube. And if that had him pacing holes in the carpet, wait until you see the one that pushed him off the cliff completely. The one that had him glued to Truth Social like it was a life raft.
Uh-oh, Donald. It happened. The man who made you is now the man who betrayed you. Elon hurt your polls, your ratings. You threw him out.
President Trump and Elon Musk erupted into a nasty public feud today,
Stabbing you in the back. And you're so quiet about it. You had to, right? But now Elon's mad, big time. Trying to kill your tax bill.
the bromance is definitely over.
So weak, so scared. Elon's got real money, not your crypto scam pocket change. Now he's out to get you. Sad.
Picture this nightmare cartoon. Trump stuck inside a swampy island prison, its walls made of rusted bars and snapping gator jaws. Above the gate, in bold letters, it says Alligator Alcatraz. The ground oozes green slime, and each alligator's teeth are shaped into words like debt, fraud, indictments, and bankruptcy. Whenever one snaps shut, the word vanishes into the swamp like it's swallowed whole. In the middle of it all, there's Trump in an orange jumpsuit, not the spray tan kind, pacing in slow motion while looking for an exit that doesn't exist. This wasn't from some late-night comedy sketch. It was the Lincoln Project's most brutal parody ad. Unlike the others, this one didn't just mock his speeches or point out hypocrisy. It built a whole dystopian scenario, showing Trump's political life like a wildlife documentary gone wrong. Where other ads made him look foolish, this one made him look trapped, boxed in by his own mess. The editing was nasty in the best way. They took real clips from his rallies, the law and order chants, the lock them up bits, and cut them against looming prison gates slamming shut. Every time he shouted about winning, the screen switched to him standing in the swamp, waving like a tour guide, as if he's personally inviting you to visit his very own scandal theme park. The slogan might as well have been, "Come see Alligator Alcatraz. Population, one orange turd." Here's where it gets genius. The whole thing was narrated with this calm, soothing voice, like a nature show about migrating birds. Here we have the elusive Trump in his natural habitat, the voice said, as an alligator labeled tax investigations slithered past. The joke didn't just hit once, it echoed. The laid-back delivery made the disasters sound matter-of-fact, which somehow made them even worse. Inside Trump's camp, the reaction was instant panic.
Donald Trump is president of the United States. If he wanted you to see the Epstein list, he'd release it. But he's not. 20 years for child sex trafficking, but there's no record of who she trafficked the children to? Really?
I don't know about Epstein so much. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
He played you for a sucker. MAGA, you gonna just shut up and fall in line like all the rest? Really?
Reports say advisors started talking about whether they could sue networks for running it or clip it from air. Not because the animation was mean, but because they feared the image would burn into voters' brains and refuse to leave. And when political consultants say parody works because people remember it through repetition, they mean ads like this. The more it got shared, the more people would connect Trump with a swamp prison guarded by debt-eating reptiles. And yes, this was the one. Alligator Alcatraz was the ad that got him threatening lawsuits like candy at Halloween. For a guy who lives off trolling others, admitting that a joke hit him hard is pretty rare. But something about this grim little cartoon crossed whatever sensitivity line he's got left. Other Lincoln Project spots like Gettysburg 2024 still stung, but they stuck to smart jabs and historical parody. This one went darker. It didn't just say, "Here's what you did wrong." It gave him a permanent address in a fantasy prison, complete with a moat. That dystopian tone is exactly what got under his skin. Because people weren't laughing with him anymore. They were laughing at him while picturing his escape routes cut off. And outside his bubble, the media and viewers took those clips and ran with them, turning the swamp into a symbol he couldn't shrug off. Every share, every meme, every replay was another set of cartoon gator teeth snapping shut. The Lincoln Project didn't just make Trump look silly, they gave people a mental picture of his contradictions that he can't argue away. You don't forget Honest Abe rolling his eyes or the cartoon gators snapping at indictments. That's the image stuck in your head. So here's the question. Is this kind of historically loaded parody an important tool for democracy, or is it just political trolling with better editing? Drop your take in the comments. Because when a parody sends the most powerful guy in the room into a public tantrum, it's more than comedy. It's an unveiling.